viewers. Yeah.
I really do love that, and my favourite word changes every day. So you know, I would welcome suggestions from other people.
Mine is definitely still holiday.
Yes, not hollybobs though. Somebody complained about that to me the other day.
Oh, hollybobs.
Let's get rid of hollybobs.
No, definitely just holiday.
Holidays,
or maybe
gorgeous.
beach. Maybe the two together.
Is there a theme here, Sal? I've just spotted gongoozler.
Who? Gongoozling. Yes, so gongoozling, strictly speaking, it's looking at activity on the canal, just sitting idly on the banks of the river or the canal and just watching people do their stuff.
You could do that out here.
You
could
do that.
gongoozle here every morning.
Well, I think you can also gongoozle into a cup of tea, to be honest. It's just kind of lost in dreaminess and, you know, just staring idly at other things.
You can definitely do that. Have you ever felt blotterbunged, John?
Not this morning.
Oh, wanted to go YOLO with your bestie?
Yeah. I don't know. Those words might sound odd to some of you, especially when we say them.
Yes.
But Countdown Suzie Dent is hoping they will put a smile on your face when you're smiling.
Yeah, definitely. She's here now. I'm definitely smiling. She can explain why. Morning, Susie.
Morning.
You have put together this book of these incredibly magical words that would make you smile.
Yeah, I just noticed, you know, I work with the dictionary all the time and we just so hang on to all the negative words, you know, the bad, sad and seamy ones, and all the positive, not all of them, but a lot of the positives have just faded away and, or they're just languishing in the dictionary really and we're not using them. So I thought, particularly for children, it's aimed at children, wouldn't it be lovely to kind of reclaim some of the lovely, joyful, positive words of the dictionary?
You say it's aimed at children, but I can think quite a lot of adults who would love it because some of the words and the history behind the words is really interesting, isn't it? I think so. We've got our favourites already, haven't we? Have you got your favourites from the book? Because I've got loads.
Okay, well, what are some of the from the book? Serendipity,
yes.
Ebullient, and Herkle-Dürkle. I've not heard of that one before.
I bet there are some people Herkle-Dürkling as we speak.
Go on.
The Herkle-Dürkle, it's from the Scots dictionary. It's pretty old, and it means to stay in bed long after it's time to get up.
Which also reminds me of my favourite word, which is snooge.
Snooge. No, you told me before, this is your nickname, which is brilliant.
Years ago.
Sally Nugent, snooge.
I love that.
Yeah.
And snooging is one of so many words for snuggling and nestling and lying close. And there's also the hibernacle, which we might get to in the months to come, which is building yourself a really cosy den and staying there.
We mentioned blutterbunged.
Yes. I like the way you've softened the G there, because I've always said blutterbunged, but I think
maybe
blutterbunged.
it was me.
Yeah.
No, blunged, actually, the sound of it is great. So it means to be completely overtaken by surprise.
It's
so totally blutterbunged by something.
You say about... I'm surprised by that. But interesting you say about the sound of the G and the sound of the letters, because sometimes the sound of a word makes it feel great. Because, I mean, I was saying to Sal, I love the word blancmange.
That is wonderful.
But I don't actually like eating blancmange. So
No.
why would I like saying it but not like eating it? Because I'd have thought the association would cancel it out.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because often associations, you know, famously people hate the word moist, and all the
Do
colours.
they?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But blancmange, and in French it just means eating white stuff. But it just sounds so beautiful. Maybe it's because of the French twist.
Of course it does. It just means eating white stuff.
Which is a strange one. But you mentioned the sound of things. I think mellifluous is in there, which is wonderful, but also one that some of your weather presenters, I think, also mention, apricity. Sounds so beautiful, which is the warmth of the sun on a winter's day, which is just gorgeous.
When it's freezing outside, frost is blanketing the ground and the world seems icily quiet and still.
Yes,
and then the sun
you
shines.
feel the sun, and it's just the most beautiful thing in the moment.
Because lots of these words have a L in them, don't they?
Yeah, interesting.
Ebullient,
Lullaby.
Herkle-Dürkle, Dardle-Daddle-Dum-do. Dardle-Dum-do?
Dardle-Dum-do. That's very old Norfolk dialect for just a daydreamer, so somebody who just lives in their head, which is a daddle-dum-do. It sounds like you're just, you know, humming to yourself, really, da-da-da-da-da,
Yeah,
doesn't
as it sounds, yeah.
Oh, here's one that isn't quite so cheery, the mubble-fubbles, which is like the end of summer.
Well, I thought I would put mubble-fubbles in because no one feels happy all the time, as we know. And when you're feeling a little bit sad, there's a very cuddly way of saying it, which is the mubble-fubbles. And it's 300 years old. And it's just like a fit of the blues or just a sort of bout of sadness that you know will go away.
Lots of you have been in touch this morning, flooding our emails and WhatsApps with words that make you happy. And it's not necessarily ancient words or complex words. It's just the simplest words that keep you happy. Lynn's been in touch, writing from Aberdeenshire. Morning, Lynn. She says the word that makes her smile every time is just family.
A few people have said that, actually.
Yeah, that's lovely.
The meaning as well as the sound.
Of course. And it's everything, as we've been discovering over the last few years. So, yeah, it's a very personal thing, language, and these are very much my favourites. And there's a lot of research that shows that if we have the vocabulary to express happy things, we can actually feel happier as a result. So there's a direct link between articulating an emotion and actually being able to harness it, which is amazing.
Wow, I suppose it's a bit like in foreign languages. I don't know, whichever language has like 27 different words for types of snow.
Yeah,
is that the
Scots.
more? Is it?
Well, no, we always talk about the Inuit, but actually Scots have even more.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
So I suppose if you have the ability to express yourself in a happy way, more choice.
More choice.
Could make you feel
I always call it
happier.
the Rumpelstiltskin effect, the power of a name. Yeah.
Jo's in North Lincolnshire and says her favourite word has always been groovy. Just hearing and saying it makes her smile.
Oh, well, that's really nice. Again, it's just hearing something that can induce that emotion in you. So it would be wonderful if we just were a little bit more positive. There are so many negatives that we hold on to, like unruly, uncouth, disgruntled, and actually all the positive ones are in the dictionary just waiting to be used, but we just don't. You can be ruthful if you're full of compassion. You can be full of gorm if you
Go
are...
on, I love this one, go on.
Yeah, not just gormless, but gormful, because it means to... It was a word from the Vikings, and it meant to take heed, to take notice of what's around you. So
it means you're on the ball.
On the ball, yeah, as opposed to gormless, but we only stick with the gormless bit, so...
Don't look at me when you say that.
I'm so sorry. look at myself, actually.
I liked a word that I spotted in the book, which was eucatastrophe.
Yes.
Like EU catastrophe, which sounds like some sort of Brexit headline, but I've not heard about it.
It does, actually. Yeah, this was created by Tolkien, actually. So he used to work on the Oxford English Dictionary and really knew his language. And a eucatastrophe is an unexpectedly happy ending. So you take the catastrophe and then you add the U of euphemism, which it means well or good. And it's something that turns out well in the end.
A happy ending.
A happy ending.
Oh, that's good.
I like your description of the word muscle in the book, because that did not go how I thought it would go.
No, I put that one in because it's got such a lovely story to it. So for the Romans, when their athletes were flexing their biceps, someone obviously thought, that looks like a little mouse, kind of, scuttling under the skin. So muscle is from the Latin musculus, meaning little mouse.
I'm loving this. I'm learning loads. Lagom?
Oh, lagom. Yes,
sorry.
That's from Swedish, and it means it's kind of like Goldilocks. It's not too much, not too little, but just right.
There are some more modern words in there. I'm thinking of amazeballs.
Yes, that one always makes me laugh.
Me too.
And I always think of Mark Homer. He was sort of totes amazeballs. But yeah, I wanted to start with Old English and then work up to the present day. And I know there will be lots that viewers and, their children will know. They say, oh, we need to put that one in as well. So it's very much a starting point. I hope everyone can add their own.
Becky's adding one. Becky's in Hull.
Great.
She says her happy word is cookie.
Yes.
Oh.
Mine too, yeah.
Yeah, that is gorgeous, apart from the computer kind. Which
Oh, yeah.
very good.
Accept cookies. I'm happy to accept any cookie.
Yeah, that one's quite a nice one.
Yeah. Debbie in St Neots says she loves to say marvellous. She says it just creates this feeling of total happiness inside me every time I say it.
Isn't that amazing that it's got that power? Yeah, I can see, because it's got that sense of wonder, something that is a marvel, because that was obviously, it had a really strong meaning originally, something that was miraculous almost. So, yeah.
One of my favourites that you've got in the book is Zephyr.
Yes, a soft, gentle breeze.
Beautiful word, but also a really beautiful meaning.
Yes, so the gentle breeze of summer, I think I've got susurrus, the rustling of the leaves in it as well in there. And it was the god of the west wind, which was the most clement of winds. And it's just the one that you can feel wafting over you on a summer's day.
Do you have a favourite?
Oh, good question.
The one that makes you really, really, really happy?
The one that always makes me happy is Halcyon, and I have to give a shout out to the illustrator of this book, because it's as much about the illustrations as anything else. So Harriet Hobday. Halcyon is a kingfisher, and she's drawn the most beautiful picture of a kingfisher in here. And halcyon days were said to be days when the kingfisher would lay its nest upon the sea, and the gods of the wind would calm the seas so that the chicks could hatch in serenity. And it's just beautiful.
That ties in really nicely with serendipity.
Yes. serendipity those days of making happy discoveries by accident, and that was created by Horace Walpole, the politician. So yeah, there's just so many stories in there. You can go to so many places. It's wonderful.
You know, everywhere you go today, you're going to have people who've seen this item coming up to you say, "My favourite word is."
I hope so.
But you love that, don't you? You love the
do.
interaction with readers and viewers.
I really do love that, and my favourite word changes every day. So I would welcome suggestions from other people.
Mine is definitely still holiday.
Yes, not hollybobs though. Somebody complained about that to me the other day.
Oh, hollybobs.
Let's get rid of hollybobs.
No, definitely just holiday.
Holiday's
or maybe
gorgeous.
beach. Maybe the two together.
Is there a theme here, Sal? I've just spotted gongoozler.
Who? Gongoozling. Yeah, so gongoozling, strictly speaking, it's looking at activity on the canal, just sitting idly on the banks of the river or the canal and just watching people do their stuff.
Could do that out here.
You could do that.
Gongoozle here every morning.
Well, I think you can also gongoozle into a cup of tea, to be honest. It's just kind of lost in dreaminess and, just staring idly at other things.
You can definitely do that.
Gongoozle all day, all night.
Me too.
It will.
Susie, thank you so much for coming in. That's absolutely fascinating.
Thank you.
Thank
And as well as Roots of Happiness, Interesting Stories About Curious Words by Susie is also out on the 28th of September.
Been busy, writing a lot. You are watching BBC Breakfast. It is 8:59 exactly.